Hey everyone, what's going on? Mark here from TST Industries, back in the garage, and behind me I have the 2022 Yamaha YZF-R7, and this video is going to be a product update video for all of you interested in our captive chain adjusters. Now 5 years ago we first released our captive chain adjusters for the FZ, MT-07 and R7. Well, we're back on the R7, but this process will be the same for all generation MT-07s, FZ-07s, and the R7. These are a captive chain adjuster system that get rid of the pesky OEM end cap that just falls out anytime you're trying to do chain maintenance and loosen your axle. Our captive system would remain in place in the swing arm. It also introduces a mounting point for spools or spool sliders. With our new revised product, we have gotten rid of the need of the spring that we once included, as well as you no longer need to reuse your OEM washer and the 2 jam nuts that are on your OEM chain adjuster system. We now have a captive nut in place with the help of a circlip. We also have a notched ring around the captive nut and a notch on the nut that allows you to see the adjustments in increments so you can perfectly align your chain, still have the safety and improved functionality of this system being captive. It's just more user-friendly. After all these years and selling countless captive chain adjusters for this platform, we decided to revisit this and make our product better. After all, that's what we're in the business of doing. Now, this installation process is very straightforward. However, I would like to highlight one thing. If you find during the install that your axle is too tight and you're not able to maneuver the threaded rod in a way that you can feed the nut through it, well, you just need to loosen up your axle. In the original installation videos, I guide you through that process. It's 27mm axle nut on the other side of this axle rod. You can just break it loose ever so slightly to allow this threaded stud to go up and down, and that would get you all taken care of. But this installation process is very straightforward. A 12mm wrench like this one right here will get you set up with removing this kit, and then a 14mm wrench and a 6mm hex key, Allen key hex bit is all you need to perform this installation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. To begin this installation, you first want to go ahead and remove the jam nut located on the rearmost portion of your chain adjuster set. This is be a 12mm nut. So using a wrench or a socket gets the job done. You will unthread this and then go ahead and break loose the first one or the second one, however you want to interpret that. Once you break that loose, you can go ahead and slowly remove both. Now you can see, even with the axle still torqued down, the moment we remove these nuts, this chain adjuster kit started to fall out. And our captive chain adjuster kit will prevent that from happening. That is why we designed this product. Once we remove both nuts, like so, you will go ahead and slide the full assembly back, which at this point should only be a washer and the actual end cap. Now, with our captive chain adjuster in hand, you are ready to proceed with installing this. Now, it is important to note that these are side specific. The left side is slightly taller than the right side. It is also important to note that we have designations on the back. So on the right side, we actually have an R engraved into the body of it. And in case you're still confused, even with both of those tips, a third tip is the spool boss must be sitting on the outside of the swing arm. And that can only be done one way. So any of those should help you get this installed properly. We will first overlay this on the threaded stud and begin threading on the captive nut. Now you can see here, once it's on, it will remain in place. And we're going to tighten this down all the way until our chain adjuster is seated fully. And you can see at this point of the install, it is starting to insert itself into the swing arm. If you've hit this point and you cannot get this aligned, or the tolerances are too tight, you may need to loosen up your axle. We always recommend that. It is also important to note that these swing arms are manufactured in a way that every single one can be slightly different from the next. That is because they're taking 2 swing arm components, putting it on a jig, and then welding it straight down the middle. On some swing arms, the tolerances are a little bit tighter, so you may need to use a rubber mallet or just massage it in place, whereas on others, it may just slip right in. So it is important to note. Let's go ahead and continue tightening this down. You will get to a point where you start feeling the swing arm getting a little tight. You may need to go ahead and grab your tool, which is a 14mm socket or wrench. If you have a deep socket, it is much easier. Now with the chain adjuster bottomed out against the swing arm, we can see that we are locked into place. Now at this point, you would hop on over to the left side and proceed with that installation. But before we do that, there are a few steps we need to take. So first we will make sure that we are bottomed out. Next, we will grab one of the OEM nuts and reuse it. This is really just a safety precaution. In the event somehow our captive system fails or you forget to tighten your axle or anything like that, this extra jam nut being installed and being used properly will ensure that no matter what, this system should lock into place. So now we will grab our 14 and back it up a tiny bit against this 12mm nut, creating a jam nut effect, locking them into one another. And the very last step, now that we are bottomed out and the jam nut is installed, we are actually going to tighten down this bolt right here. This helps flare out the bottom, the base of the inner portion on this chain adjuster, adding in yet another layer of captive security. So a 6mm hex key, we're gonna go ahead and bottom it out. And once you get to bottom, you can go another quarter of a turn or a half of a turn, ensuring that you are locked in place. And just like that, this installation is now complete. You can hop on over to the left side at this point. If you haven't already done so, as long as these steps are followed, our captive system will remain in place. Even if you loosen your axle and remove your axle rod completely, rest assured our chain adjusters will remain in the swing arm, making working on your bike magnitudes easier. And with that, this installation is complete. And as you can see, not only have we introduced a better looking part, subjectively speaking, we've also introduced improved functionality with our captive system, not only being captive and remaining in place, unlike these OEM end caps, we also have introduced yet another spool boss in the event you would like to use multiple spools or even our GP lifter system. Now on the MT-07 and FZ-07, they do not have these swing arm bosses. So on those bikes, you are actually introducing the one and only spool boss location. So much needed improvement. Yet again, we revisited the drawing board even after releasing this product 5 years ago, because at the end of the day, we are here to make your lives easier, make working on your bikes easier, and we are constantly striving to improve our products and our processes. Now, if you found this video helpful, please be sure to give us a thumbs up. It lets me know that we are effectively delivering the message in a way that you are finding helpful. If you are ready to buy these chain adjusters, you want to see what else we have available for the R7 or the MT-07 or any other bike that may be in your garage, please be sure to visit our website, tstindustries.com. The link to these chain adjusters can be found in the description below. For now, this has been Mark in the TST Garage. I thank you all for watching. You guys ride safe, and we'll catch you next time.